Live readings for you all tonight. A couple of minutes late, I do apologise. I had some family things going on upstairs. You know how it goes, but I'm here. So anyone joining me for these for the first time? It's just an hour I take every week. I do my best to that. You can ask a couple of questions if you like. Like someone messaged me yesterday, and I'm going to make hers the first question. Actually, she had a question, not enough for a full reading, but I was like, if it can wait, then let's. If you can wait, then let's do it tonight. Let's do it Thursday night. That's what I'm going to do. But actually, I actually wanted to just share something quick because I don't get the opportunity to do this very often. They say that when things happen in threes, you should pay attention. And one of these happened in relation to my labyrinth tattoo there. I was at the park with the kids, and a lady comes up to me and she asked to take a photo of it, and she asked to what it was about. And then the next day, I'm in Broken Arrow in Oklahoma. My friend Amy, she came with some presents for me. This beautiful labyrinth and this one as well. So I thought I would just explain what the labyrinth is to me and why I have it on my arm. So let's just go there, shall we? There we go. So in the labyrinth is not a maze, it's a labyrinth, and so you can't get lost in the maze. You can, as long as you keep going, you find your way to the middle and out again. So it's analogous to the journey of life. As long as you keep going, you get to where you're supposed to be getting to. The second thing is, I'll show you again, maybe on here, that to walk a labyrinth, you have to keep taking 180-degree turns. And such it is in life that you have to keep shifting your perspective on life, on your environment, and yourself all the time, because life keeps changing. And on top of that, the reason I got it on my arm was like about 20 years ago, I'm taking a class, there we go, and she printed these out. And she had us sense each other's energy fields, each other's auric fields. And we could feel each other about a foot away when we walked towards each other. Then she had us trace our way in to the middle and then trace our way out to the end. And all of our energy fields had grown by like 6 to 10 feet. It was super cool. And I would use that, and I do it on myself there we go, do it on myself to, as it were, manually or actively or intentionally expand my energy field when I need to, when I want to, if my confidence is low, or if I need to be greater or bigger than a concerned thought form that I have or something like that. And so that is a couple of reasons why I have the labyrinth on my arm. There we go. So my first question, let me just go, there we go. I see questions here. The first question, I did make a commitment to someone, to Stacy. She asked a question about moving to a clinic where they would support her better with her current medication. So I'm going to take a look at that, first of all, and then I'm going to get to these questions here. And you guys on Instagram, you just put a question if you want to as well. All right. Stacey, this is for you. Yeah, Stacey, I see you getting accepted at that clinic. I like it. It feels. I'm trying. The sentence I was going to say is, it feels like where you should be. It feels like what you should be doing. There's nothing in this that gives me concern. So I'd say go for it. Go for it. I feel it really supports what you're doing biochemically with your body there. All right. So. Okay, Mandy, here we go. I've had chronic collarbone pain for 3 years that affects your shoulder, neck, jaw, and teeth. I'm sorry. I've seen so many numerous doctors, but no one can help. Please tell me, who do I need to see to get this fixed? Okay, Mandy, this is a more in-depth question than I can super get into now. You understand, right? There's depths I want to get to in this. Like the furthest I've got right now is I do think it's someone in town that can help you with it. I do think it's a male as well, because I just checked on that as well. There are things I would need to ask you about. There's like 3 or 4 questions I would need to ask you to get the answer you need right now, and I can't do that because I can't talk back to you, right? You can't talk back to me. So I'm going to have to leave it there for you, Mandy. Happy next week to go further into this, and I'm not trying to make you pay for anything here. I'm really not, but we can work through this over the next few weeks if you'd like to do that. But that's as far as I can get with this right now, because you can't talk back to me. So it is someone in town, for what it's worth, and maybe we can get further on that later. All right, Bob, will you be moving to a new house? Emily, I'll come to you next. Will you be moving to a new house in July? I'm getting a yes on that, Bob. Yeah. Cool. Beautiful. Probably towards the end of July, but yeah. Oh, Valerie, another question about houses. I'm sorry, I said I would go to Emily next. Sorry. Words of advice coming from your guides about the next few weeks or months. I had a big week this week. I'm looking at a bag of emotions, so to speak. Gotcha. Next few weeks. Okay. And then I'll come to you, Valerie. I'm going to try and show you something, Emily. I want to put your mind at rest a bit here, okay? So, and you can see these cards. Don't worry if you can't see these cards. I just wanted you to look at the energy of them, okay? A bit closer there. Now, these are good cards. These are good. These are cards of ease. So there's 2 things I need to say to you. I'm going to look for something else as well. 2 things I need to say is the next 2-3 weeks for you look fairly easeful to me, okay? So if you think how you feel right now is how it's going to continue, it isn't. But that's not the end of it. You're getting prepared for a move now. I'm not sure in this exact moment if it's a job or if it's a physical move. And I think it's a job, honestly, from what I'm seeing here. But I need to say this to you, Emily. Don't judge your future based on how you're feeling at the present. How you're feeling at the present is not a destination, it's a passing through point. Oh dear God, there we go. Say that again. How you're feeling at the moment is a passing through point, it's not a destination. And you've got an easier few weeks coming up. In any case, I say this to everyone, we're going into like a pre-Mercury retrograde time anyway. Things are going to be slower, and that's a time to work on ourselves. And so things are easier for you. Things are a little easier for you, Emily, than you might think. But it's not just about things being easy. It's about you getting prepared for a shift. And I think that's what you're feeling right now. Okay. Vicky, I'll come to you after this. Okay, Valerie. Do I see a house for you this year? Lovely. I do. Yes. Also, I do. Wonderful. Yes, I absolutely do. All right. Jenny, what do you need to do to develop your psychic abilities more? So for you, Ginny, I'm getting to look at this from both ways. So one is what you need to do to develop it more to open up, and what it is you need to get things out of the way. I'm actually going to go to the second thing first. For me, it's more important, more relevant. So what blocks your intuition, or impedes it, I should say, is two things in particular. One is miscommunication, and the other is, just like the rest of us, trauma and trigger and so on. When we get reactive or activated, that shrinks our, impedes, constricts our connection. It's miscommunication I'd like you to look at a bit more though for you, because, you know, we only hear what we know. We mostly hear what we want to hear when someone says something to us. You're probably doing it right now. And in some respects, we choose what we want to hear. And I feel that you, if you would pay more attention to what is truly and really and actually being said to you, in all cases, your channel would be more open in a more consistent way, and then your intuition would be better, because of course it would. So that's what I want to say about the impedance for you. I'm trying to keep this simple because I don't have much time here. Okay, in terms of you opening up your intuition, Ginny, it's about not being afraid of it, because I feel like you are a little bit. Because once we do step into our gifts, people see that we have them, right? And also, I want to angle you towards unconditional love. And like, yeah, sure, I probably would say something like that, wouldn't I? But unconditional love looks like there's a degree of preparation that goes into unconditional love, because if we've reacted to something, that we're not unconditional, right? We're totally conditional. So unconditional love for you, Ginny, as a practice would look like preparing yourself to face the day. Preparing yourself to face the day, we envelop, we encircle the day, we hug the day, we love the day, we acknowledge the people that are coming towards us, however they show up for us. And that has a direct effect on your intuition. Okay? All right, gotta move on. Vicky, what did you say? You have a male friend who has a child with another woman. He lived with the last 5 years. He left her for another woman more than half his age at the gym. Okay. My emotions are all over the place. What is a good way to handle the situation when you like all of them? These are friends. Oh dear. Wow. Okay. So with things like this, Vicky, it's so important to bring your energy, call your energy back to yourself, because that's the only thing you can do anything about. You know, Ara and I separated at the end of last year, and of course we know pretty much the same people, and I keep hearing from people, oh, we love you equally and all this, and it's like, it doesn't super help. What the people in that situation need is you to be you, not you to be what you think they need. So that's what I'm going to do, Vicky. I'm going to read on you. I'm not going to read on them. And so I've got a bit of a general answer for you here, Vicky, but I like it. But I like it because for whatever reason, and I guess you must be pretty good friends with these people. There's a fair bit of energy coming towards you, but you can handle it. What I'm getting for you is somewhat, what's the word? Tangential, insofar as if you can be picking yourself up, if you can be making yourself laugh, enjoying yourself, having a good time and so on, you meet things like this better. You meet things like this with more ease, and it sticks to you less, because that's the problem right now, it's sticking to you. You know, Ginny, just to dovetail back to you for a minute, the more we can let stuff flow through us and pass out the other end, so to speak, the better our intuition works. And what we want for our intuition is to be available to whatever is called to us. For example, I'm answering a question here, but I see the relevance to you. So for you, Vicky, I'm asking and inviting you to pick your energy up. Yeah, watch your comedy shows, watch all of that. You know, going back to my labyrinth the wider my energy field is when I need it to be, the better I show up for things I want, and the better I show up for conflict, which is what I don't want, but it's going to come to me, it's going to come to you, it's going to come to us all. We want to be able to meet it and let it pass on out. Okay. All right, Shirley. Just moved into a new home. This is an investment of Japanese infestation. Japanese cottonweed in 2 of your neighbor's properties. Found 3 shoots on your land. It makes you nervous because it is very invasive with no way to kill it. What do I need to know? Very invasive with no way to kill it. What do you need to know? Okay. I want to say the second thing first, Shirley. There is a complementary plant that you can bring in, which will, if it can't be killed, it can't be killed, but it can mitigate it, it can contain it, perhaps. But that's the outer of it. The inner of it is, because I'm getting shown about what its reflection to you is, and this is how you see yourself. This is how you see yourself, and you know, you and I haven't spoken before, so I don't like to weigh in this. But I see, Shirley, that you see yourself in some respects in a diminished way. I also see that I'm also seeing you putting other people first, and you'll put other people first. You'll put people in front of you, and you know, I was watching a video earlier on the distinction between value and self-worth. Value and worth. Worth in this context cannot be diminished. It cannot be magnified. We're all the same in that respect. Value is about capability, it's about skill, and we are different in that respect. But worth, we're not. And I see your worth is diminished. And please, I see a sweet, wonderful person here. And I would like you to see that too. I would like you to see that too, Shirley. So we just happen to be here talking about plants in a garden. We could equally be talking about a work situation. We could be talking about a marital situation. In some respects, it's not about the outer version of it. It's about what it means inside us. So would you take a look at that, please, Shirley? Anything that's going to pick up your perception of who you really are, because that's what I'm seeing the reflection is. Okay? And thank you for being on today. Okay. Hello, Joy. Tracy. You felt like you've hit a spiritual wall. What do you need to move forward on your journey? Okay. You know, it's funny, Tracy. I feel like it's been a bit of a theme today. About moving through things. If you weren't on earlier on, I'll try and sum that up. That sometimes we feel when we're going through something, it's the end. It's like a terminal thing. It's this is what we're always going to feel like. And no, it's quite the opposite. We're going to move through it. The card I want to show you in particular, Tracy, is the 10 of Wands here. And look, you've got a character that's holding a lot of things. And after this, when I look at the outcome, it's fantastic. It's all about balance. It's all about growth. It's all about development and so on. But yeah, I wanted easy for me to say, let go of carrying so much, let go of holding other people, holding on to other people, carrying things for other people. Look up the 10 of Wands if you would. More importantly is that for you, putting that down almost feels like death. It almost feels like death of identity, the death of purpose and so on. And the very opposite I'm seeing is true. That take a load off one's shoulders, all of a sudden we're free, we're unencumbered, we rise up. Hey, look, I'm being dramatic for you. But please, would you look that up? Yes, you may have hit a wall, but it doesn't mean that you can't break through the wall. Or it doesn't mean the wall isn't going to fall over, okay? Because I'm using your vernacular here. But what's coming up after this? Really good, really good. Like you haven't had it this good before. Okay, Anna. What is the best way for you to increase your energy right now? I've had a couple of looks at this, Anna, and I keep coming back to time by yourself. And obviously, I know you, and I know that you're inclined that way. You recharge that way. And that's an answer. But I just need to pause. I feel there's something else. I'm seeing something and I don't fully understand it yet. So let me say this to you, that because I felt like saying time to yourself. It's just not. It's not enough. That's empty. How about some partitioning up the time that you have to yourself in intentional ways? So you can apply, and you're just gonna have to do this. There's an active element to this. Turn that down. So you have some time. Let's just say tomorrow, for example, and you could say, I'm going to give 15 minutes right now. I'm going to open up the vortices around me, and I'm going to release through it. I'm just going to let stuff out from my solar plexus, from my sacral. I'm going to let it out. 15 minutes to the second, right? Set a timer or something. Later on, you say, I'm going to set 20 minutes, and I'm going to set a vortices around myself, but I'm just going to receive through it. And so it's intentional. I want to give you a sentence. The unknown is your friend. The unknown is your friend. Just play with that, if you will. There's more to say, and you and I have time that we can go there. But start there. There's more available to you in the time you have to yourself than I think you're letting yourself receive. Joy is your twin soul on the other plane. Or is your twin soul on this plane? Yeah, interesting. I'm getting your twin soul is on the other plane, and yet is so interesting. Oh man, there's so much I want to say to you here, but I'm trying to keep this simple. So your twin soul is on the other plane, yes, and is calling to you, is connecting with you. That's all. It's most I can say in a short period of time. And so I understand why you're asking the question. Can I say this to you? And I'm actually speaking from some personal experience here. That it is a relationship. It is a relationship. Now they're not physically here in person. Yet it's a relationship. It's active in its own way. Now we're human for the most part, of course, and so we understand things in tactile way, in physical ways. But it is a connection. It is real. It is there, and in some respects, we do exist on that plane. All right. I'm gonna have to go on. So much I'd like to say to you. Okay, Chantal. You had a stroke 3 years ago. You've gotten better, but will you ever heal on your left side? I'm getting a yes on that. I'm getting a yes. There's some. There's a. I see you've got some stuff to go through first. It's not like it's suddenly going to disappear. And I'm going to have to just say, yes, I do see, I do see that. I do see recovery. I really do. Not immediately. And a couple of bumps on the way, I'm being honest with you. But I do see recovery, yes. Okay, Angie. Santana is really struggling in school right now with his grades. How do we see the rest of the school year for him? Exactly how this is going to happen, I don't know, Angie. I'm going to give you a scenario. I'm not saying this is how it's going to play out, but I'm just going to give you an example. It's almost like a teacher or a couple of teachers are going to say, like, okay, this isn't working for him, we're going to try this. So I'm doing two things here. First, like the current way, the way Tanner is working, it's not going to work for him. I don't see him enjoying it or his grades improving. But I do see a change. In the next 6 months. So where are we? Well, next 6 months. What's that? I'm losing track. We're at what? That's what, November, right? In the next 6 months, there is a shift coming up from him. He's going to get some support, and then he's going to be on the right track. And let's just be clear: it's his right track. It's his right track. It might not be the people around him's same track, but it looks good for him. So, what would I do if it was me? I would do two things if it was me, Angie. One is relax a bit. If I had done this reading for one of my kids, I at this point would just relax a bit, and I'd be having some different conversations with the teacher. That's what I would be doing. Okay. Vicky, what am I seeing for your health and money coming this summer? Okay, health. I'm really happy with what I'm seeing here, Vicky. Money, not so much. Being completely honest with you. So let me just go around the block again. With health, I feel like you've got a sense of how you want to feel / even look like, and you get there. Now, money. I'm wondering if this is about a decision or choice you've got coming up, and that you get in your head about it. But I'm not seeing what I want to be seeing financially or money wise for you here. Just talking about the summer. I'm asking the question you've asked. No, I have no intention of getting you worried or bent out of shape about it. So let's just say, if you've got some big spends or big investments or whatever coming up, give it some more due diligence than you might have otherwise. Or if I think this is relevant too, if you have a tendency to rely on other people to make choices for you, even maybe this could be one, then bring more of yourself into it. I mean, you've seen me do this a couple of times tonight as well, haven't you? Where I'll actually stop and think, what would I do? Just because I'm seeing it in cards here for someone, what would I do with that? So that's what I've got, Vicky. Okay, Callie. Your ex contacted you to open up a line of communication, separated after oh dear. Do I see something I should know before engaging in a call with him tomorrow? Okay. I look at you here, Kelly, and I just see disempowerment. As I look at you going into this call, I'm like, so I'm going to keep the theme going. What would I do if this was me? I'm thinking right now. I don't want you to feel like this. I'd like you to, if you're going to have a conversation with someone, I'd like you to go in feeling free, happy, feeling like you, okay? So let me just suggest a couple of things to you, because everything is about, for you, is about opening up here. One thing, I don't know if you ever saw this, it's an exercise you do, and you, sorry, excuse my pits, everyone, I'm sorry. You open up your chest, your arms like that, you hold that for about 2 minutes, and again, that opens up your energy field. If you were on earlier, I was talking about the labyrinth, does that as well. Why? So that you can be energetically, vibrationally, emotionally bigger than the thing that is containing you. You want to go from, maybe we talked about this once. We want you bigger than what you're concerned about, bigger than what is dominating you, whether it's another person or not. The other thing, as it's said sometimes in motivational thought, is think past the finishing post. You ever hear that? You think past the finishing post to what you will do after the conversation. You have the conversation, let's say 2 o'clock tomorrow, right? What are you doing at 4 o'clock tomorrow? What are you doing at 7 o'clock tomorrow? What are you doing on Monday? What are you doing in June? And so on. And so you've sent, what you're doing there is you're sending your higher self to the situation, knowing that you get through and beyond it, knowing that you have things to do after that and after that. And what you have there going on is vibrational momentum and motion. Vibrational momentum and motion, forgive me. Because I see your energy slowing down, getting sticky and so on there. And so I asked myself, well, how can you show up if it were not the case? How can you show up if you were happy going to the conversation? How would you show up if you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that you were happy coming out of the conversation, that you represented yourself as best you wished you could? And so I hope you get something from what I've said there. Okay. Hello, Jennifer. Okay, Blossom. I was thinking about you earlier on, Blossom. Really good to see you the other day. Just clearing the deck again. Vanna, I'm coming to you next. I'm not doing general readings at this time. If you've got a specific question, I'm sure I'll get to you. Okay. Blossom, I've got 2 things to say to you. One is, I always want to say take the next week off, just this next week. It just looks like there's a lot coming up for you. After that, it looks great. It looks wonderful. So why don't you just take this next week or so, this next 6-7 days with a pinch of salt, that smile on that lovely face of yours, and know that you've got I see a mild awakening of sorts. When would that be? Would that be sort of first week of June time. Now, the other thing I want to say, maybe a bit more important, because there's stuff coming up about your own, gifts and talents and so on, and you have those in abundance, because of course you do. But I find it important sometimes to look at the other side of it, and I feel there's been people around you that have told you you couldn't or you can't, and I've got some profanity coming up, so everyone prepare yourself. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, Blossom. You can, you do, and you will. I'm gonna say that again. You can, and you do, and you will. You have many talents, many gifts, and the way these things tend to show up, Blossom, is that we get the initial kind of thought. It ties to something we can already do. The next thing that will happen is action. What often happens at that point is we go straight away to a time when we've done it before, and that, because that's our only comparison. But I'm asking you to let go of that comparison and go forwards. Gifts are surfacing, gifts are coming up through you, and you would be, I really encourage you to let that happen. Doesn't matter what people have, to let that happen and to disconnect from how people have discouraged you in the past, okay? Ginger, I've been wondering how you guys are. Things are starting to get back on track with business. Wonderful. Wondering if there's anything you should stay aware of around it in the next few months. Yeah, so I'm going to say to you, I don't see the next 3 months or so as very pressurized. It's almost like you're getting a chance to play with and look into and research some of the things you wanted to do for a while. Okay, while there aren't some of the big pressures on your business. Now I see the step up coming in September, right? September. Up until then, it's slow. It's a slow build. It's a slow build. I'm seeing the September-October period. There's a lot of opportunity, whatever that looks like. So what I'm going to say to you is, what's his name? I think the book's by a guy called Gay Hendricks, and the book is called A Big Leap. The Big Leap. A Big Leap? Big Leap, whatever. But it's about our upper limits and what we believe that we can achieve, what we believe we can do, and so on. And sometimes we don't let ourselves get there because we just don't believe we can. Really interesting. And so I'm inviting you, Ginger, to go big, as it were, to go big. So just so that you don't get caught and inhibited by that. Because I see a lot happening in that's early fall, isn't it? September, October. Yeah. More to say, much more to say than this, but that will do for now. I'm doing for time. Hi, Christine. Thank you, Valerie. Jennifer. Starting a new job, venture, how's it looking for you at this time regarding the success of this venture and juggling family? I don't know why I want to tell you all this. I was a couple of minutes late for this tonight because I had to clean the toilet. I had to clean the toilet after my kids. I was like, of course I do.
Of course I do. I'm just saying that because you're talking about juggling family. I know what that's like. Right.
Jennifer, looks really good. It looks really good. I'm seeing who I'm assuming is your partner or husband or significant other and so on, right in the middle of this, and it looks good. It looks good. When you read cards, there's lots of different things that jump out at you at any one time. I want to show you this. It's the card of the star. There's a naked figure on the front of this. Just need to say that, but. Do you see the star, and you see the little stars around it, around here? So you are, Jennifer, you are the star in the middle, in this case, not the figure, but the star in the middle. And those little bright stars are all, they know their place, they know where they are because of the big bright one in the middle. So you doing your thing keeps the harmony of the spheres, so to speak. And should we ever talk at some time, I'll there's more I can say about that, but all looking good. Okay, Christine, will you be stepping back into light work in service of others this year? I have a specific direction I'd like to go. I'm glad you're asking me to read, Christine, because if you were asking me as your friend, I would have jumped down your neck by now. But that's fine. We're going to see what. That's why I'm not sitting here just talking. That's why I read for people. Because I'm like, of course you should. Of course you do. And I'm glad I'm reading, actually, because I'm actually not seeing it here. Hear me out. The service that you're giving right now in terms of others is to your family, and it is to yourself. You're building your strength up now. I'm not saying you weren't strong to begin with. You're mighty, and I love the crap out of you, but something from last year pulled you around, so to speak. So you're building yourself up from that at this time. And remember, we're only talking about this year. We're only talking about this year, with much to do and much to do beyond that. Much to do beyond that. So I actually, in maybe a tangential sense, if you want to be in service to others, give this year, give this, this next 5, 6, 7 months, give this time to yourself if you really want to be in service and support to others, right? Okay. Tracy, are you doing the right thing with your new adventure? Yes, I do feel you are. This is not something for right now. But maybe if you want to just maybe make a note and park it for a few months' time where I feel it's more relevant. I'm seeing things are fine. Things are fine right now. I'm seeing Spirit showing you something later on, right? Maybe 3 more months' time. And for whatever reason, you're not seeing it. You're not looking in that direction. So let me say this to you. You ask a beautiful question there. Are you doing the right thing? Let's remember sometimes we have to keep asking that question. We have to keep asking that question. We have to keep asking similar questions in many different avenues of our life. Let's just say in a relationship. People get married and we live till we're 80, 90. Well, that's a very long time, isn't it? We change in that time, we become different people, continue to evolve. And in some respects, we could ask the question in relationships: what are our needs and priorities right now? 10 years later, what are our needs and priorities right now? And so, as you go through each month, to ask this question: am I doing the right thing with my new adventure? It keeps you on track, right? Keeps your awareness fresh, live, and active. Okay. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am out of time. I have to go do bedtime now. Not my bedtime, but kids' bedtime to do that. So thank you all very much for being on with me. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to England, and I'm going to keep these going while I'm there for a couple of weeks. I'm just going to say it's probably going to be on the weekend because I'm like 6 hours ahead. 6 hours ahead there, so I don't know if it's going to be Saturdays or Sundays. Maybe you want to just throw into the comments if you like a particular day or something like that. At least give me something to think about, because I will be 6 hours ahead there. And much as I love you all, I'm not going to get out of bed at 1 in the morning to do this. I'm just not going to. So let's just take a breath together, shall we? We'll finish as we always do. I just want to say a prayer for you, for your families, for all that's important to you. There's a lot going on out there in the world at the moment, a lot of unrest. Of course there is, and we want to say just a prayer for that also. Thank you for taking the time with me tonight. Those of you who are with me on Patreon, tomorrow evening, me and Lewis are giving a class on protection. What it is, what it isn't, what we can do more of, less of, and so on. And that's free to you guys who are with me on Patreon. But for now, I just want to say have a wonderful, wonderful evening, a wonderful rest of the week and weekend. God bless you. And see you again soon.